In the history of engineering, we humans have stepped onto the moon.
2, 1, 0.
Man is about to land on the moon.
We have built the world's tallest building and connected 2 continents by constructing an underwater tunnel. But when it comes to the magnificent pyramids of Egypt, engineers all over the world break into a sweat. It is a mystery that has been challenging all the technology in the world for 4,500 years. People often think that since humanity has made so much progress, can we build even just a single pyramid again? It might sound easy, but the reality is far more terrifying and expensive. While this may not be practical, today we will try to find out, through solid calculations, what challenges we might face, and how much this entire mega project would cost if the pyramid were rebuilt in 2026. Welcome once again to STOKIT AI videos. Egypt's capital, Cairo, lies under the shadow of those magnificent masterpieces that have baffled human intellect for thousands of years. These pyramids of the Giza Plateau are a symbol of Egypt's most powerful rulers. However, among all these, this magnificent pyramid built by Pharaoh Khufu is the largest and most unique. It is said that if you can build a pyramid, you can do anything in the world. It is that priceless specimen of human history that has withstood the greatest of storms. This mountain-like structure, standing 147 meters tall and spreading across 12 acres, is essentially as tall as a 40-story building and as wide as 10 football fields. The weight, laid out in 200 levels, this pile of stones weighs 6 million tons, and every single stone block is the size of a Range Rover. But the real astonishment is hidden in the quantity of these stones. There are 2.3 million blocks, each weighing a minimum of 2 tons and a maximum of 60 tons. World-renowned Egyptian archaeologist Zahi Hawass believes that Egypt did not build the pyramids, but rather, the pyramids built Egypt. He believes that the engineering and technology they used to build them remains a mystery to this day. But the question arises, if people 4,000 years ago could do this, can today's modern world do it too? The simple answer is no. The biggest reason is the motive. We simply have no reason to build a structure like a pyramid. 4,500 years ago, these pyramids were built as tombs for the pharaohs, the gods of the ancient Egyptians. They had a religious motive, they had the passion and dedication, which is why they obviously managed to erect this magnificent structure after extreme hardship. But let's assume that if we also had a motive, a reason, and we had to build a replica of the pyramid today, an exact replica that is just as strong so that it remains standing even after 4,500 years, what difficulties would we face? The very first challenge in building a pyramid would be arranging a pyramid of money. Yes, pyramids may look simple, but they could end up being more expensive than any mega project in the world. The second challenge would be selecting the land, because we cannot buy just any ordinary land to erect this 6 million ton mountain. This is equivalent to the weight of 6 million normal sedan cars. There aren't even that many cars registered in the city of Cairo today. It's also important for you to know that a very strong foundation was built beneath the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. But even so, its weight is only 500,000 tons, which is merely 8% of a single pyramid. If the base of the land is weak, this magnificent mountain will sink into the ground and become a graveyard before it is even built. Choosing the right land is so crucial that even the ancient Egyptians took it quite seriously. The Sneferu Pyramid, also known as the Bent Pyramid, was the pyramid of Pharaoh Khufu's father, and the engineers of that time made a mistake while building it. Experts believe that due to the land not being properly leveled and poor bedrock support beneath, it tilted slightly to one side. That is the reason it had to be bent at the top. This means we need land that isn't sandy, and the tectonic plates underneath must be quite stable. If we select the Giza Plateau itself, the cost of 13 acres of land and legal permits could be between $100 million and $120 million. After acquiring the land, sensors would be used to inspect up to 200 feet beneath the surface. Seismic tests would be conducted to ensure the pyramid isn't damaged in the event of an earthquake. This could easily cost around $5 million. After this, the ancient Egyptians leveled the land using water channels. Today, we would use laser leveling and GPS-guided bulldozers. The entire 13 acres of land must be perfectly flattened without even a millimeter of variance. Because, according to the laws of geometry, a 1 millimeter difference on the ground would create a 14.7 centimeter tilt at a height of 147 meters, and we can't solely rely on bedrock like in the olden days. We would also need to lay a reinforced concrete mat, which would require millions of tons of concrete and steel. Only then would a foundation be ready that could bear the weight of our pyramid for 4,500 years. If a 4-meter thick concrete foundation is laid, it would use 500,000 tons of concrete. The amount of concrete being used here, just for the foundation, is usually what an entire mega-project requires, meaning 1 to 1.5 million bags of cement, hundreds of concrete mixer trucks, and the manpower of thousands of people. According to rough estimates, the foundation alone would cost $400 million. Land cost is $100 million, leveling and scans are $50 million, and building the foundation is $400 million. This means not a single stone of the pyramid has been laid yet, and the cost has already reached $550 million. And everything we have done so far will take at least 3 years. But the real problem begins now. 2.3 million stones, and that too, as big as SUVs. Where will they be brought from? And what machine is out there that can lift a 6 million ton load and carry it 147 meters high? The land is ready, the foundation is poured, but now we face a question that even the greatest engineers don't have an answer to. How do we cut 2.3 million stone blocks into rectangular shapes? If a factory today started cutting and supplying stones exactly like this, it could cut a maximum of 100 large stones a day. If the work proceeded at this speed, it would take 63 years to arrange 2.3 million cut stones. But if we want to get this done in just 5 years, we would need to run 250 of today's diamond wire saw machines simultaneously. And not in different parts of the world, but straight inside the stone quarry. This way, we could get a supply of 1,260 blocks a day. One such machine costs $400,000, so according to calculations, we would need to spend $100 million just on cutting infrastructure. Only then could we cut this many stones in 5 years. Otherwise, not just 63 years, but centuries could pass. You can now easily imagine how much time and manpower it must have taken back then to cut these stones with chisels and hammers. Not only limestone was used to build the pyramid, but granite was also used to construct the inner king's chamber. And both types of stones are quite costly today. Hydrated limestone is $120 per ton, while the rate for granite is $250 per ton. So, by this calculation, the total cost of the stones comes to around $1 billion. Keep in mind that in the early 2000s, it cost $1.5 billion to build the entire Burj Khalifa, $100 million on cutting infrastructure, and $1 billion for the cost of stones. Also, listen to some astonishing figures regarding the electricity that will be used over 5 years to run these machines. A diamond wire saw is not your ordinary home AC. These heavy-duty machines possess the power to rip through the core of such massive blocks. A modern industrial diamond wire saw consumes up to 80 kilowatts of electricity, meaning 20,000 kilowatts or 20 megawatts for 250 machines, and that too in just 1 hour. The electricity consumed over 5 years is roughly equivalent to the entire daily consumption of Italy. If they operate for 5 years, the electricity cost alone will skyrocket. $155 million, and that is without taxes. Now let's move on to the transportation of these stones. Let's assume that these stones are quarried from the exact same place where the ancient Egyptians got them, from the stone quarry in Aswan, located 900 kilometers away from Giza. If the pyramid were to be rebuilt, it would be the largest transport operation in human history. A standard heavy-duty trailer can carry a 30-ton load, so it would take 240,000 trucks to transport 6 million tons of stone, meaning 132 trips a day. Now, since it is a 900-kilometer route, heavy-duty trucks will cover it in 3 to 5 days. If 132 trucks need to reach the site in a single day, there would be 500 trucks on the road at all times for the next 5 years. Based on rough calculations, the transport operation alone would cost $200 million. And let me point out that this does not include road tax. If we total everything up to this point, our cost has already crossed $2 billion. Masonry hasn't even begun yet, and despite that, the cost has reached $2 billion. Now the stones are being cut, and a truck is arriving at the construction site every 10 minutes. We have now entered the most dangerous and difficult phase of this project, the masonry of the stones. The issue is how to erect a 147-meter-tall pyramid by stacking these stones one on top of the other. The weight of the stones used in the pyramid ranges from 2 tons to 60 tons, and the granite block placed on the roof of the king's chamber weighs a massive 80 tons. There is no crane in the world with a 230-meter boom that can lift an 80-ton weight. Because the larger the boom of the crane, the laws of physics dictate that its lifting capacity will decrease proportionately. For this, an entire network of cranes will have to be created, and we would need massive tower cranes like the Kroll K-10,000, which are the tallest cranes in the world. A sort of structure is built so that the crane can lift more weight. But these cranes have a limit. As the pyramid gets taller, these cranes will have to be repeatedly disassembled and raised higher. The blocks of the pyramids were placed next to each other with millimeter accuracy, such accuracy that not even a credit card could slip between them. All this marvel is the work of the stonecutters and laborers of that era, who put their lives on the line to accomplish this feat. Even with the help of cranes, suspending an 80-ton granite block in the air above the king's chamber is like inviting death. The rental cost of 10 such specialized cranes and their maintenance for 5 years would be at least $300 million. So far, we haven't included the cost of engineers, masons, and workers. According to estimates, at least 3,000 workers would be working simultaneously to build the pyramid. If we estimate their salaries for 5 years, safety insurance, and food and drink, it comes to $400 million. After a total of 8 years, our pyramid is almost ready, looking exactly as it does today. But did you know that originally, the pyramids didn't look like this? In that era, a casing of Tura limestone was applied over it. Experts believe that because of this casing, it must have shone from afar. To cover all 4 sides of the pyramid, we would need approximately 115,000 white limestone blocks. These stones are cut and placed in such a way that the surface of the pyramid looks completely smooth and flat. Thousands of years ago, when the sun rose, these pyramids in the desert could be seen shining from miles away. And even in the moonlight at night, they looked like a white glow. This was all the magic of Tura limestone, which today would cost $250 million. So, would you like to hear the total cost now? $2.95 billion. And remember, many expenses haven't even been added to this, such as road tax during transport, electricity duty. We would need a separate power plant to generate 20 megawatts of electricity, which we haven't added either. This theoretical calculation for building the pyramid proves how difficult a task it is to do even today, let alone how it was accomplished 4,500 years ago. Just thinking about it gives you goosebumps. And as for whether pyramids can be built in today's era, the answer, surprisingly, is still no. An island like Palm Jumeirah was built for $3 billion, and the world's most expensive SoFi Stadium in the USA was also built for almost $3 billion. And Qatar's largest natural gas processing plant was completed for the same amount. So, in today's materialistic world, throwing around $3 billion into a project that yields no output simply doesn't make sense. We hope you will generously like and share this STOKIT AI video. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next fantastic video.